built-in scalar values, it's usually pretty obvious what most operators will do. 2 plus 2 will generally get you 4. But when you're dealing with classes in C++, it's not obvious at all. In fact, C++ operators don't work with classes unless you tell them how. For this purpose, you'll want to write your own code for some operators. This is called operator overloading. There are basically two ways to overload operators in C++. One is with class methods, the other is with functions. In this movie, we'll discuss overloading operators with functions. We'll discuss C++ class methods in the chapter on C++ classes and objects. Let's make a working copy of funcoperator.cpp, and I'll paste that into my working project and open it up in the editor. I'm going to double click on this to maximize it so that you can see the entire file. Here we have a simple contrived class called class A. Down here in main, I'm declaring two objects of class A. One of them's A and one of them's B. One of them has a value of 5 and one of them has a value of 42. This class simply contains an integer and initializes the integer and will return the value with the class method value. So if we want to add these two objects together, like on line 20, we need to overload the plus operator. So there in line 12 is the operator overload, and it's constructed like this. Int is the return value. The operator keyword tells the compiler that this is an operator overload, and then the plus symbol is the operator being overloaded. The parameters, left-hand side and right-hand side, are both references to an object of class A. And on line 14, we use the value method, which is called an accessor, because it's used to access a private variable. So we use the value method to get the value of the integer A from inside the class A. That integer is declared on line 6. And we add those two values together and return the result. So it's really a very simple function, and it works effectively. Let's go ahead and run it. Bring this back down to size, and I'm going to click on the big green compile and run button. And you see here, the first line of our results says operator plus for class A, and that's simply this cout on line 13. And then it returns the value. That just tells us that the method is getting called. And where is that method getting called? It's getting called right here. When we add up these two objects, the compiler sees that and it looks for an operator plus overload that takes those two types as its arguments. And so here we have left-hand side and right-hand side. And so it calls that function and it returns the value as the result of that expression. So this feature, of course, is not available for built-in types. So I can't create an operator overload for two ints, for example. While I can see where that may be an entertaining thing to do, it wouldn't really be useful or a very good idea. So you can see that this is pretty easy to do. As I said, this is only half of the story. For the rest of it, be sure to watch the movie on operator overloading in the chapter on classes